I think in 2020, real estate values are going to continue to rise in almost all asset classes. I don't think it's going to be a result of cap rates falling any further. I think cap rates are starting to flatten out, but it's going to be the rent growth that's going to continue to drive the real estate values higher, and probably going to continue for quite some time, certainly in the industrial space where we operate, multifamily and office in some of the key markets in Canada.
Well, my view is real estate valuations are going to continue to increase. I think there's still a little bit of room in terms of cap rate compression. I feel like there's room for growth in income. And so I think values are going to continue to go up, and I see that for the foreseeable future throughout 2020 and into 2021. And in terms of where we are in the cycle, we hear lots of talk about being late in the cycle or the cycle being mature, but my view is that it's kind of the new normal that we're in. I don't see volatility in the market. I don't see volatility in valuations. And so even though we're mature, I think we're at a new normal.
My outlook for the remainder of 2020 is generally positive. I believe that the asset appreciation and demand for real estate in Canada will continue to be strong for the remainder of 2020. It will fuel industrial prices continuing to rise. Cap rates will continue to go lower, although they don't have much room to go too much lower. In the multifamily sector, I believe that you will continually see record low cap rates in the Toronto and Vancouver, and to a lesser extent Montreal regions, where the rest of the regions will be flat, even going down slightly because of interest rates. And in the retail sector, as much as we've had a few troubled times over the last couple of years, the consensus I think in the retail sector is cap rates will continue to go up. I agree with that statement, except for what I call real urban core retail assets. And finally, in the office sector, transit-oriented office cap rates will continue to be lower. Rental rates will continue to go up. And for suburban office, it's going to be very hit and miss, so it really depends on the asset class. The cycle question, I think the cycle question is probably somewhat irrelevant. I think we are in a transformational stage, not just in real estate, but in the economic and geopolitical world. I don't think anybody foresaw negative interest rates in so many different countries and so low interest rates across the developed world and many nations that it's really hard to pin a cycle. I think that it won't be a gradual shift. When it does shift, it will happen without anybody really seeing it. So I think the cycle question is a real hard one to answer, and I would suggest that it's really not relevant into the economic times we're in today.
Well, let me start with the back end of that question. We keep thinking we're getting towards the end of the cycle, yet this keeps getting a little bit longer in duration. It's becoming more pronounced. Our house view right now would be no recession till at least 2024. So I think we've got a longer runway than people expect because interest rates, when they go up, normally that leads inflation. It's a spiraling effect. We don't see that happening, so therefore we don't see this cycle coming to an end anytime soon. And when it comes to pricing, this is something where we're at the intersection of two very powerful forces. This is about Canada as a country, real estate as an asset class, and the capital flows we're expecting for 2020 will lead to record trading volumes in Canada. As a result of that, pricing is only going to get more expensive. We've seen Vancouver, we've seen Toronto move in that direction. As a result, Montreal ends up having its strongest year. We just did the biggest deal in Halifax history. We're seeing a lot of trading that we're doing in Ottawa. So watch for things to get more expensive, and watch for Alberta to gain some traction by the end of this year, and also watch for more capital moving into retail. So that will become a more active sector, and I'm excited about that.